Okay, so welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about dance on camera, and we have as our guest speaker Koushik Podder. That's a great advocate for screen dance. He organized the Body and Lens Festival last year, which had great attendance by scholars and dance screen practitioners alike. He'll probably share his own information a little bit later. I'll let that I'll let him do it. And he's also the director of SASTRIKA dance company that produces different types of work between Indian dance, martial arts, and theater productions. We're going to start with a little bit of a history of screen dance and dance on camera. And then we'll go a bit more into how to create your own film. And then Koushik will talk to us as well about his experience with organizing the festival and his own work with dance films. So to begin, I'm just going to share my screen so that I can show you some of my slides. Okay, so here we go. Share. Okay. So here we go. Do you see my slides, Koushik?
No, it's buffering.
Oh. How about now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is just a tiny introduction about me. I'm a former ballroom competitor and a contemporary performer. I studied in York and Trinity Laban on dance science as well as dance studies, and worked on several dance films, virtual learning platforms, and lectured on screen dance history. I presented with organizations such as the Royal Academy of Dance, International Association of Dance Medicine and Science, and the Dance Studies Association, among others during that time. So let me continue. So I first want to question you as you're beginning to listen to this or look into this. What do you think about dance and camera? As dancers, we have a sort of a perception sometimes, a philosophical approach where we don't believe that technology is a part of our craft. At least traditionally it wasn't. So there's a sort of a fear of that technology taking over our practice. But then, what about musicians? Like, does a keyboard pose a threat to the musician, for example, or is it something that enhances their craft? And I think with screen dance, with dance on camera, dancers have started to realize that potential of tools as something that can be beneficial rather than taking away from us. We can also record for archival purposes and see technology as our creative partner. What are the barriers? Of course, the costs can be a barrier for purchasing cameras, hiring videographers. Although right now, with the smartphones and everybody having access to technology that is much easier than used to be the case, I think that the cost becomes less of an issue, and information and education is a bit more what stops people from doing it, because it still requires some skill set to create a good dance film and develop the knowledge to produce it, to publicize it, and to make it appealing to the audiences. And that's a lot of knowledge that maybe marketers possess or videographers possess, but as dancers, we're having to learn them as we go. Then once you figure that out, you figure out the technology in itself, we can then focus on what we're presenting, right? Rather than just figuring out, okay, what do I like? How do I use this technology? How can I publish it, and so on? We can talk about dance in itself. So how do you prepare choreography for a dance film? How do you plan it as you're going? So where would you do it? Is it site specific? Is it in a studio, and so on? And when you get to that question, that means that you've overcome some obstacles on the question of how, which is where we want to get. And hopefully we can help you a little bit today, but it's a little bit of a longer learning curve than just one session. So I encourage you later on to look at some of the courses that we provide and workshops that you can look into. Yeah, ask yourself, how do you feel about those cameras and other technology? Probably with age, the younger the dancers, the more comfortable they will be, but it's not a given. And I think that it's time that most of us had the opportunity and the knowledge to use that in our dance. Now, a little bit of a history. Sorry, the video didn't load, but just to show you that even Charlie Chaplin already used dance on camera. He filmed, in a very simple way, just his performances, which were available in silent or eventually with sound on the screens in the cinemas and so on at that time. So it was more of an archival purpose, or to have an extra ability to promote the film. Otherwise, Loie Fuller, Martha Graham, Merce Cunningham, and other pioneers of modern dance have used cameras in their dance, which we'll look at a couple of examples now. Okay, so let me just try to show you. Let's only look at a couple of examples, maybe. I'm gonna maybe show you Dennis Schoen, which is Ruth and Dennis and Ted Schoen, who were pioneers of modern dance in the early 19th century. I think I need to change the screen. Do you see the YouTube screen, Koushik, or just my slide?
No, I just see your slides.
Okay, yeah. Let me share the YouTube. Here we go. So this is Dennis Schoen performing for the camera. It's a silent film. So you see the dancers, you see the exoticism. Basically, they were portraying the dancers of the East or some sort of that. Dennis Schoen were known for that material. Clearly, in this day and age, this is not the type of material that we would present, but the film work is what is interesting here. So all the ladies getting ready. Basic shots of the training, the basic variations from the practice. And going to a wide shot where they're already performing with costumes. So it might be particularly interesting for you, Koushik, to give your perspective later on the interpretation of the Indian or Eastern dances. So we can chat about that after. This is more of a appropriation question, I guess. I'm just going to fast forward. These are the guests, basically, that are watching the performance. I'm going to fast forward to a piece where they have a use of a different type of camera work, where they use miniature figures and blended lenses to present the performance. A lot of this was about giving a sort of a their version of the history of dance. And of course, all the white men are sitting at the table while this history is being presented to them. What's interesting here is how they use already in that time, two simultaneous shots in the camera, right? So in that time, they had to do it manually. So they superimposed two film strips over another to create that effect. Today, we have different software to make such things happen, but just to show you that this was already possible and there are ways to do it. Anyhow, I think this is sufficient for you for this point. And moving on to later work, perhaps we'll look quickly at ghost catching, right? If we can look at that. This was by Bill T. Jones, who is a pioneer of the LGBT community and a very strong dance film advocate in his time, also of the era of the modern dance pioneers. Oops. So, it's a little slow, sorry guys. Maybe that will not happen. Okay. Let me try one more time. If not, we'll move on to the next one. Can you see the YouTube still? Yes, Koushik?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Thank you. So this is the first type of work with motion capture that they've done using the technology that was developing at the end of the last century. And one of its first to use that sort of a work and technology to apply dance, right? So today we have even better opportunities to do so if you are a part of any university or an organization and you have access to motion capture as well as editing software, you should be able to create such work. But in this time, this was quite revolutionary in itself. Well, I think this had sound.
One I love, oh yes, sail away, oh honey, sail away. Wait, I want you to look here in the trunk. I have some cornbread in there for you. Where? They went to bed, he pulled her real close. Later that night, when they were fast asleep, the house filled up with light.
And it's done to a poem also.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So I just am going to show one more before we're going to continue. So we're moving on right in the time to Pina Bausch and the film that
I love her work because she's amazing. I'm a diehard fan of Pina.
Yeah, she's beautiful and
She is amazing. I mean, out of world.
yeah, I agree. And this film was made like right after her death, so a lot of the dancers
I have seen her maximum film I have seen, and his documentary also I have seen latest. So it was amazing, and I had shared also because those are into the practice, dance form. So they should watch the Pina's work.
Absolutely. And we can see, I guess, in this example, how modern technology allows us now, you know, if for a bigger budget film, how this can be used. Although some of the strategies they use in the film in terms of movement and angles can also be used in simple like studio-based productions.
Yeah, it is a studio-based productions. All productions are studio-based. It is one of my best.
So you see like the different way they use the close-up shots and the body movement versus a wide shot, or using the space,
Yeah.
the type of placement of the characters, different locations.
Overlap films.
Architecture. Again, the type of angle with the shot combined with the movement. Yeah, so this was, of course, like a big production film, but as I said, you can create a lot of these shots by yourself if you have a good camera and you know how to.
All the films I have seen, Mina's work, I'm diehard fan of Mina. And I always watch her films because it's very thought-provoking films. And,
yeah. I mean, maybe this is a good time to have a little discussion regarding maybe what you've seen in the in terms of the exoticism earlier in the early film. The 1920s Denishon film, and maybe how you feel about that as an Indian practitioner. And also you can then comment on the dance films that you saw just now.
Yeah.
Then we can continue.
Actually, first of all, that I am not a screen dance practitioner, but when I'm during this pandemic, I have seen lots of people are coming to digital medium and used to digital media. But somehow I feel that when I have seen a lots of dance used to digital media, work and so many. How I feel that when I have seen a lots of dance films. It is eco. I mean, so I have started to developing this idea that we have to ice break in India, because in India, dance film practitioners is very limited, and at the same time, the academicians and is very few of academicians is there to guide peoples. So this is the main issues in India. So that time I had talked to Professor Urmimala Sarkar, and I spoke to her about the Body and Lens Screen Dance Festival in India. And that time I'm really gratitude. I given my gratitude to her. So she conceptualized the Body and Lens Festival. And I have to mention that name, Sumedha Bhattacharya. He's an amazing dance film practitioner and director also, and as well as a filmmaker. She's helped me a lot. Uh, so that time we have started to working on a dance film festival, and I'm started to talking with the peoples and get engaged with Mary Wycherley, Gita Wigo, Heike Salzer, Douglas Rosenberg. So many dance film practitioners and filmmakers are appreciate our proposal, and they are come together in a one platform. And that is why uh, for their efforts, for their dedication, uh, so we have done the Body and Lens International Screen Dance Festival. At the same time, I feel that after the Body and Lens Festival, uh, India's dance practitioner, they are really influenced by the Screen Dance Festival. And then they are started working with the technology, which is I never seen in my life, right? I just watching them, and they are coming on the mainstream platform. They are working on a dance film uh, practice and dance film studies. So, which is an amazing, I mean, uh, things that they are think about the dance film. So that is the successful. I mean, there is my thought was
Successful. I mean, there is my thought was successful. I mean,
so,
my thought was successful. I mean, my thought was
yes, yes, David. Actually, you have given me some questions about what does it means in global and Indian context. I must say that in India is a very diverse in a dance scenario, because we have a lots of classical dance forms, we have a lots of traditional dance forms, and uh, there is a complexity, because so many forms are exist in India still today. And I mean, if we started in dance film study in Indian context, you have said to me, because I respect to all the cultures, all the dance forms. I love to watch, but for India is a very complex, because we as a dancer we always work on live audience. So it is suddenly when I think about the screen, so it's suddenly we are step back, because we don't know uh, what is the right platform where we showcase our films and all that. And uh, definitely we have very limited sources. So if we started in India dance film studies, it can be enrich our traditions or our I mean culture to the world on a digital platforms. And recently, Sweat, a Hong Kong based screen dance festival, just yeah, last 2 or 3 days I have seen that they have organized a screen dance festival. And I am glad that South Asian dancers, they are making their films, and their films has been showcased on Sweat. So which is amazing. I mean, it's a path breaking, and people are thinking about the dance and technology. They are creating a relationship. So I believe that body and lens, somehow it is hammered to the brain, that they can started thinking about the dance films. And dance films, uh, I have a very little knowledge about dance films, but uh, I say that I'm diehard of fan of Pina Bausch show. So I was always, watching her work. So and during this period, I have seen so many dance films, and it is very interesting to how to create a relationship between dance and camera. It is very interesting thing. So many filmmakers think about only for movements. They are capturing the movements, and the camera angles. The cinematographer working hard on that way. That they are working so many uses so many angles, and the motion, as you say, that motion they had captured, and sometimes that movement creating a very interesting body language, so which is very interesting things. I think that. And some films are based on the environment, which is very interesting, how to interact with the nature and body and camera. It is very interesting part of dance on camera. And I have seen some film which is based on environment, and we always say that the movement or motion we are capture from our nature. So nature always alive, but we should see uh, how to move. So my understanding of lanes and technology and the movement, which is create a amazing work. I have to mention that uh, Sumedha's work, uh, the jam upload download upload jam. In Indian context, we are using Navras, 9 emotions. We When I'm as a dancer, when I work on 9 emotions, and Shumedha work is brilliant, and on her movies, she used on 9 emotions in one frame, which is amazing film as I have seen. I mean, it's really amazing. I mean, people's never we when we work on 9 emotions on Navrasa, so we are always using our hands, movement, motions, expressions, and she used only expression and through the lens, which is very interesting. And its length, the film is 6 minutes, 6 minutes some seconds, and I never look out from other sides because the film was amazing. Another things, that is, I mean, our animal kingdom, the Akram Khan films, our animal kingdom, where is the best things that the motion, they are captured their motions and body language, which is thought provoking, I think. Uh, uh, and then landscape without horizon, Jordan Patches and Yajan Choi. They are Asian dancers, and they have used their lens in a beautiful way. How to spell her name? Who is? So they have used their lens on a beautiful way. I think you have seen on when we have screened her film, which is amazing. I mean, I can't understand how to use the camera. The both dancers working together, and the movement to movement, motion to motion, and create a new body languages, which is uh, every moment is very interesting. So it is an eye catchy. Uh, Another thing is moon paradox. Zelia Zezestan, if I spelling right, moon paradox, which is one of the amazing film. They are use some technologies on their films, which is, it is my eyes breaking. I have seen that is very Moon Paradox. Yes, that is excellent movie, and that both dancers working together, but there something is, we are using some technologies, but when the body and technology work together and create a magic, and on that films I have seen that magic. It is excellent work. As I mentioned in uh, I have remembered. I forget the name of the film, but it was Sundance screening their films. I just forgot his name. I mean, filmmaker's name. They are using something different. I mean, they working on a studio, but the effects is totally they have used some environment. So that was an amazing film. So, everywhere around the world, people are thinking about the dance films, and they are uh, express their creativity to the world. And I appreciate and I love their work. So, uh, yeah.
Thank you. I mean, this is a good start. I think you've mentioned several points there. So for example, in terms of the artists expressing different emotions, 9 different emotions in the same time. Also, how they use the space, the different geography to help them, as well as movement. I think one of our participants would like you to spell the name of some of those artists, if you can put that in the chat in the meanwhile. So like the one with the emotions, and also I know you mentioned Akram Khan and others. But it is, yeah, it's I was very inspired by your festival as well. As I said, thank you for inviting me. I think that it ended up being a really interesting discussion between a lot of screen dance practitioners throughout the world, some of whom I knew, like Douglas Rosenberg, who was a pioneer in his time with that field. So it was interesting to have a more in-person discussion with him, and the Indian scholar Urmi Maura, as well, Sankar. So I feel like this developments hopefully will spread as we go along. I think it's inevitable in some sense, because of the rise of technology today. I want to maybe
David, I forgot to mention the name that Mary Wicharley, the Lightmost Festival director. Recently, she's organized a Lightmost festival. So I have seen some clippings of the work where the lights are moving, so which is very amazing. And I forget her name. She is from Dubai, and she is world known light designer, right? So she in Dubai Expo 2020, she is install some lights moving. And when I saw the videos, I'm forget to save that videos, how to use the light. When light is moving, it is create a magic. And every design, it's related to the dance. I was mesmerized her work. When I see, it was amazing. If you get the chance to see her work, that is very amazing. when I see the Light Moves Festival, where the uses of lights and the movement, sorry. So that is very amazing part. Uh, you know that as a dancer, I think that I have learned from our environment, because they teach us a lot. When the rain dropping, we just see that the rain is falling, but we can't see their motion. That is the magic in the environment. I think every dancer should learn or from our nature. Recently, I have talked to some cinematographer, and he told me that how to capture the environment. Nature moves. So sorry. So it is really. I think every dancer should learn from the nature, and I think Pina Bosch also uh, learn from nature. And if I say the Isadora Duncan, she is famous. When she write on her essay, she always mentioned that my sources of movement, the nature. I mean, nature is the source of movement. So sometimes we are stuck into the techniques. I mean, if I learn Bharatnatyam, Katthak, anything, Latin, flamenco, or paso doble, any kinds of dance form, we are stuck into the technique, and sometimes we can't express our body beyond, because we are stuck into uh, mm, the technique. So dance films can break the technique and create a magic if we use the technology. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it allows, like I said, for the, when if you're talking about motion, like seeing the raindrops, in the same way as, seeing just a small body part do a certain movement or a facial expression that maybe you wouldn't see live, so it allows for emphasis on certain angles of the body, development of a mood that cinematography facilitates. And I mean, you're right, it creates a whole new world of possibilities to do so. Which actually, I think I have a couple of points that I think, a couple of examples rather, that show some of this work. Let me see if I can. So, pause. I lost myself. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and this is a little film we worked on a few years ago. I'll just show as an example. In the beginning, the videographer shows a bit of a mood, and then we switch the mood and we go more into movement, right? So, and then maybe I'll show one more or so to demonstrate different ways of doing that. So let me share my screen. This one was, where's my YouTube? I think, there we go. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, that should work. All right, so. Loading. You can see that, right? Floating, gone, like a dandelion that breaks with the wind, shattered by a wish never to be found. Shifting, shuffling, surrender,
The warmth of an embrace, relinquished with no trace. Feeling, forming, over a memory in the dusk, a memory now lost. Wishing, waiting, alone. The world spins on, life goes on. Fleeting, shifting, feeling, numb.
I woke up and wished that I was dead, with an aching in my head. I lay motionless in bed. I thought of you, the way you're gone, let the world spin madly on. And everything.
So that's just one way of doing it. If you see, we worked a lot with different sites in the city and you know, different weather, and then we just combined the dance all together. In the beginning, we used poetry to incite the mood, and just in studio shots to create, you know, a black and white, a little bit more gloomy effect to then switch. Because in reality, the song, you know, the song itself speaks about it's a single wife and husband, and they are so she had cancer, so it's about the struggle through that journey, right? So it seems like a happy song, but actually it's quite a sad song. So we try to portray some of that somber mood in the beginning, and then just go into the song and use site specific you know, so different locations to blend it together with a lot of editing at the end. So it took us a long time to do that. And this also can speak to getting permissions on some sites. Like at some point we're on a helicopter pad, which we had to climb over a fence in bad weather and then dance with like minimal clothing. So thinking about those things as well, how you can make the best of such environments, right? And still make it beautiful and make it interesting at least. Also, like, who is gonna do the videoing, you know, what kind of cameras you're going to use, and how you're going to plan that adventure, right? So I'll show you maybe one more before we go on. So, oh, this is just a note. I don't know if you're seeing, are you seeing my slides now?
Yeah, I've seen.
So this is just our videographer who was speaking about his experience filming with us, right? So it was one of his first dance films, and this allowed us to work on a small budget, you know, and he tried to work with different lights and use the camera in the best way that he could, using different angles, in particular the 35mm for the wide shots for the full movements of the dance, and 50mm for closer shots. Excuse the spelling, he's French, so I wanted to capture his own words in this. Using a gimbal, so that tool that kind of works through and allows you to film with, you know, a stable movement, even though you're moving around a lot. So just some points for you guys to think about, and as you're making that. Let me continue. If we can, I want to show one more before we continue the discussion. Which shows kind of nicely the use of little body parts, as I've mentioned. And it's not, ours was very, like, at different locations, different edits. This is a continuous work. It's a friend of mine in the UK who kind of combined, she worked in ballroom, but also a lot in contemporary, and then had a really nice production with dance films. So this is production of Salome. So focusing on the upper body, for example.
Exactly.
Versus individual face shots, right? into some movement. Facial into movement.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so in there you can see a lot of work, you know, showing different body parts using a black background and using also facial expressions, which normally you might not have seen when it's you if you're watching something from further away. So instead of focusing on movement, they might be focusing on the look or on the interaction between the people, and the space, using of space and different angles between a group and a person. Um, I
In
know.
a dance film, so many things needs to be understand. That first thing, have to understand the concept, and then how to use the camera. That is more important part. Second thing, third is important, the space which I use for the film. Recently, I have seen two films. Uh, they are uses of he's from India, and his name is Narayan Sharma. Uh, he making of films, but sometimes it is very difficult for us to create a film, because it is a very it needs a proper budget, proper lights, proper locations, or proper space, and so many things, how to express your emotions, your body, or movement through the lens. It needs a time, and it's based on really uh, how some films mirror how brain works, which is says, let me check. How some films mirror how brain works, selective memory, the whole dance. Exactly. Yes. So many things are, I think dance films is a very collective work, where the cinematographer, choreographer, director, and the dancers, the wavelength should be matched, and then create a magic. So it is need, you know, it's need a lots of time, and I know that people are working very hard in making their films. Maybe it's takes a 6 months, 7 months, or 1 year also. So uh, in international platforms, I think there have a huge screen dance platform, where people, express. Showing their films. But in India, it's a very difficult, because uh, in India, first time Body and Lens is a totally non-profit a platform for the dancers. So uh, in India, a very little screen dance festival, which is 3 or 4 films are screening, and it is very, very uh, not a large scale, but it's a very small community are doing these things. But we need to, my vision for a dance film, screen dance platform in India, because I know the strength of Indian dancers. I know the strength of our culture. Lots of diversity in the dance forms. Uh, India's first dance film screening at 1948. Name is Kalpana, and director is Uday Shankarji. So that is the first screen dance of dance film of India which we know. So that time he started to thought about the dance film, but uh, as I say before, that we always believe to perform in front of audience, uh, and we are use the camera only for the Bollywood films. You have seen the Bollywood films have so many choreographical dancing or they are used, but particular a dance film for making uh, it is very little. A few practitioners. Prakriti Sharda and Sagarika also working on it. Zia Khan, and I also mention his name, the Guru. Navte Singh Johar. He's also working on a dance film. So it's very few. I must say that very few people are working, and their community is very small. I want to it bigger. Then uh, we can, every dance film from we are study from every dance films, each and every dance films, as you showing your films, as you show some other films. So we learn from each and every films how they are used the camera, how they are used the nature, how they are used the space. So many things we are learn from each and every films. And in India, it's a very different, diverse form of dance. If we start it here, so it can be huge. We can make the dance film. Rukmini Vijay Kumar, she is a Bharatnatyam dancer, and she making her film, uh, which is amazing. Use the Carnatic music and the movement of Bharatnatyam, which is mind-blowing work. I mean, I must say. So this is uh, this is the story of screen dance of India. Because uh, I know I don't know how long it's needed, but after the Body and Lens Festival, so many dancers are making their films, and they are tried to making their films, and uh, each and everybody support each others, as my festival was supported by Professor Urmimala Sharkar ma'am and Sumedha. uh, they are working really, they are working very hard for this festival. Effort, I mean, uh, that is unforgettable. I have to say. So that is why I'm Body and Lens getting the success, grand success in the uh, in this festival. The viewers was 256 viewers. I mean, can you imagine in this time, people were used to very digital platform, and we are just going to scroll, right? But that time, peoples are attending our festival because we create an interest. That is uh, that is the part how to create the interest, how to boost the dancers to make their films, or if I say that uh, see your body on a different way. So
Yeah, that was a great initiative. Hopefully the one next year will be also good.
absolutely.
I just want to open up if Marcia had any questions, or anyone on Facebook might be, you can type it in. No? Okay. Well, I mean, in this case, yeah, so if there's anything you want to add, Koushik, you can do it now, and then I'll say the final.
Yeah, I will add that David, I have seen the whole series. Some series I have missed because of time issues,
Mm.
and I'm getting to the so many things in this period. But you have created a platform. Thank you for inviting me on this particular topic, and I'm very happy to express myself and my journey with the dance films and my understanding. It is very little because I'm very honest that I am not a dance film practitioner and I am not a dance film creator, but still I admire all the works, and I appreciate all the peoples those are creating their films, and I love to watch their films. Uh, and yeah, you have done a great job in this beautiful session you have creating, and the different parts of you know different parts of world people are engaged in your webinar, and I wish you all the good luck for the future, and we will definitely work together sometime. And I'm just waiting to work with you on a particular project. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think you have more than enough knowledge. I know you're humble, but I think whatever you've experienced through the festival and before that, I think there's a valuable insights, and I wanted to share that with the rest of my viewers. So just to end this, I would like to thank everyone who have participated or watched it at home. And hopefully we'll be able to create another series. As I've mentioned before, we will try to get grants, but also I would appreciate any donations that you can make through our registration page. I will also send with the recording a PayPal link if you'd like to help us out. Besides that, I'm happy to have presented that to everyone, and maybe you learned something throughout the series, and especially today with the hands-on film and Koushik's appearance. Thank you.
thank you so much, David. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
I'm stopping this.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do I need to stop the recording? Stop video. Oops. I think